Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Welcome to the Money Date. My name is Johannes Harrison, CEO of Construed Wealth Management. I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Alicia Harrison, COO of Construed Wealth Management.
That's right.
Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining us.
So we are here for another edition of the Money Date, our Valentine's Day edition. We have a very special show for you tonight. Before we get started, for those of you that have a glass poured, let's go ahead and raise our glasses to a toast. Happy Valentine's Day, babe.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Tasty.
Celebrating love, money.
For the love of money. Right, yes.
All of that good stuff.
We are celebrating love and money. We are here again with the Money Dates. This is an intimate time. Valentine's Day is an intimate day. Your money date is an intimate time between you and your money. The idea here is to help you get greater control of your money, get greater control of your finances, get greater control of your financial life. So we have a very, very interesting topic today. So I hope you're ready to take some notes. Our topic today is budgeting. Okay, budgeting is the foundation for all financial plans. It is the foundation. Think of it if you're building a house. You want to build a solid foundation before you start putting the walls and the roof and the doors and all that stuff in. A budget is the same thing for your finances. It's building that foundation. So we want to, like I said, let's just dive right in. So again, get your pencil, get your piece of paper. This will be here for you to watch as many times as you need. So without any further ado, babe, let's start talking about budgeting.
Let's get into it. All right, budgeting 101. So I'm excited for today's topic. Definitely value having a budget. It's definitely made a difference in our life, not only in our home life, but in our business and helping our clients. And I'm excited to be able to help you guys out there today. So first of all, you want to identify, why is a budget important to you? You really want to go back to that why. Why is it important for you to have a budget? Do you have financial goals? Are you looking to pay off debt? Do you want to become financially independent? Do you want to be able to invest, buy property?
Yes.
What is it that you want to do? Why is it that you want to create this budget, right? Because the budget is your foundation of your financial plan. You want to make sure that you have this budget because it's going to help you organize your bills, organize your money, know exactly where your money is going so that you can create that roadmap to your financial goals. So what we're going to go into is a few tips on how to budget your money, and I was going to share with you a few tools to prepare for that budgeting 101.
Okay, so we may not be able to do everything today. Some of you are probably ready. You're like, yes, this is my money date. I'm having a date with me and money tonight on Valentine's Day.
Yes, cheers to that, and acknowledging everyone who is ready to take control of their finances tonight.
Do you all realize that restaurants actually increase their prices tonight just because they know that you're willing to come and spend a little bit of extra money? So babe, I'm actually gonna cook for you instead of us going out for Valentine's Day.
Oh, are you?
I am. Why did she say it like that? Like she's surprised. I cook. Don't y'all get it twisted. I cook. Anywho.
Once a week.
Hey, shh. Why you gotta tell the people? Anywho, so here's some tools for the job that you're going to need when you sit down to do your budget. Number one, you're going to need to have access to your bank accounts. So whether you bank in a local credit union or a major bank, or if you're using PayPal or Venmo or any of those other type of apps, you're going to need access to that when you sit down to do your budgeting, because you're going to need to see the history of some of the things that you've been doing with your finances. The next thing that you're going to need, or I recommend that you have, is have your computer or a tablet and have access to a spreadsheeting tool. So something like Excel or Numbers. And actually, if you look in Excel or Numbers, if you go to File, New, Open, Template, there's actually budgeting templates in there that are really easy to use, really easy to use. So we actually use those, even though we have other fancy tools that we use as well. We use those budgeting tools because they're really helpful. It's great to do on the fly. Don't have to be connected to the internet.
It's easy for me. I'm familiar with the program. I can plug in the numbers and see what our money's doing.
Okay, so yeah, so it's also, if you feel uncomfortable about using those sorts of tools, there's great resources on YouTube on how you can use Excel 4 or 5 minute videos, teach you very, very basic things on Excel or on numbers if you're using a Mac or Apple computer. The next thing I recommend you have is a pen and a piece of paper. If you're not using Excel, then you're going to need the pen and paper to jot things down, but you're still going to want the pen and paper, just some places you can take some notes, set some goals for yourself, things of that nature. And the most important thing that you're going to need for this process is a money date.
Money date.
You need to set aside some intimate time with you and your money. So we recommend at least 60 to 90 minutes, and we'll talk about a little bit later about how often you need to do that. So once you have your tools, it's time to dive in and actually start working on creating the budget. So Alicia, let's talk about where we start.
Love it. So where we want to start is step number 1 is to go over your income. So what are your income sources? You want to write down your full-time income, part-time income, any bonuses that you might get, gifts, grants, work study, anything that you have coming in that's creating income to your household. You want to record that so that you can calculate your monthly take-home income. So that's first and foremost. We need to know how much money is coming in.
What about my tips? What if I get tips at work?
So if you have tips, that's income. You need to find a way to record it. If you're not used to recording, you need to have a general idea. You know what your bills are, generally speaking, that you know how much money you're bringing in and tips on average. I would hope so. I hope you count your money at the end of the night if you're getting tips, so that you know kind of on average how much extra money you're bringing in.
What if I got like a sugar mama or something? Do I count that as income?
Count it all.
Count it. Okay, count that too. So you want to count all your income. Okay, so now that you know your income, so I mean, do I need to know like for the whole year or just the last week?
No, your monthly income.
Oh, monthly income. Okay,
yeah, monthly.
All right. So calculate. So you want to calculate your monthly income. So when you're going through this exercise, we recommend using at least the last 2 to 3 months. Now, if you're doing this early in the year, then you're probably going to have the holidays in there, and so you may find a few anomalies with your income, but do the best you can to figure out what your average monthly income is. Okay. All right. So once you have your income, the next step is to determine what your expenses are, and you want to make a list of everything. And again, this is where having access to your bank account or to whatever tools you use to spend your money is going to be really important, because we want to know, you want to know how much you're spending on food, how much you're spending on transportation, how much you're spending on housing and rent, how much you're spending on credit card bills, and what else? Starbucks. What are you spending on Starbucks? What are you spending on clothes? Just what are you spending on clothes?
We're not talking about me right now. We're talking.
Okay, that's true. We'll get back to that later.
What are you spending on childcare, diapers, if you have children, everything, count everything, toiletries, that includes your shampoo, makeup, anything that you purchase on a regular basis. That is nails, hair, because regardless, you're going to get those things done if that's something that is important to you. So make sure you include that on your expenses as well.
And as you go through this exercise, it's not a time to judge yourself. We're just getting data right now. That's all you're doing. You're collecting the data. It's not, oh, I spend too much doing this or I shouldn't have done that. No, right now it's just information, okay? And don't forget, if you're someone that uses the different sort of applications on your phone, so a Venmo or Cash App, what have you, don't forget to dig into those applications to see how much you're spending there. One of the things that can be a little difficult with those apps is recalling exactly what the money went to. So if you're someone that uses those going forward, make sure that you put some sort of note when you're sending money to your friend because you decided to go Dutch on lunch or something. Make sure you put in a note half a lunch, what have you, so that later.
Put like a little emoji in there.
Or use the emoji. Yes. Use the emoji. That works.
But this is where you get to take control, right? You're not judging yourself. You're taking control of your finances. So you need to see exactly what you're doing with your money so that you can move forward in your budgeting.
You can also do it old school way. Just writing everything down on a piece of paper. But again, if you're using one of those applications, like I said, in Excel or in Numbers, this is where you're going to start transferring that information of, okay, where is my money going? How much am I spending? And what we want to do, as I said earlier with the income, is we want to figure out what the average is. So again, if you're doing this at the beginning of the year, you may have spent a little bit more in November and December as you look back on those months because of the holidays. But again, that's something that happens. It's real. It happens each year. So you can put that in a category as gifts and, things of that nature. And again, you want to get an average. So how do you get an average? You look at, 3 different months. Let's say it's groceries. You look at, okay, you spend $500 in one month, $400 in the next month, and $300 in the next month. You add those together, divide by 3, you get the average. It'd be, in that case, $400. And that's what you want to input into, this is what I'm spending on groceries, or this is what I'm spending on I don't know, clothes. So what are you spending on average on clothes?
We've already talked about that.
I was trying. See if she just, I was trying. It didn't work. She's smart. I'll just look at the budget later. All right, so now that we've got our income, and they can see you.
Oh.
I can see you later. I'm gonna see whatever look you did. I'm gonna need somebody to tell me. Was I twitching a little bit?
Income.
We got our income. She's trying to keep me on topic here. We got our expenses. Next step is to review. Okay. And this is where I would recommend, if you're doing it with a partner or a spouse, what have you, this is where you want to come together and do the review and start comparing. And you're going to need a calculator. You're going to need to use one of those tools and start looking at, where is your money going? Are you spending more than you make? We've done this a few times. Actually, we do this often. So what are some of the questions that we go through when we're doing our review?
Have we been dining out more often than usual? Do we need to cut back on dining out? Do we need to cut back on groceries? Always looking for areas of where we could be saving money and where we might not be as intentional with our spending. And because this is an eye opener once you review your expenses, because sometimes your spending rather. Sometimes you feel, oh, I only go to Starbucks, once a month or every once in a while. However, at the end of the month, you see that you spent $60 at Starbucks, and yet you don't have any money in your savings. That's $60 that you could be saving that could be going into your pocket and not into another corporation's pocket. So
I know, babe, we're Starbucks shareholders. So I'm kidding. You shouldn't be spending too much in Starbucks.
That's not what we were talking about.
I'm just keeping it real. But yes, so once you've started to identify some of those areas and you're doing those review, start to ask those questions to yourself. Where can you save? Where can you cut back? What changes can you make? Some changes that we've done in the past. We cut our cable cord. We don't have cable anymore.
We didn't really cut the cord.
They call it cord cutting. It's a phrase. We cut the expense. Excuse me. I cut the expense. It was me. I did that.
I didn't need the cable.
Okay.
I can live without cable.
Okay.
Cheers to that.
I'm going to drink to that.
And part of when you're analyzing your expenses, it's really identifying your wants versus your needs. Meaning, I need to have X amount of groceries every month. I need to have clothing for my career, my job. I need to be able to show up a certain way. I need to have transportation, shelter. There's certain things that are wants that you don't necessarily need. Maybe it's, you don't necessarily need designer clothing or, like you said, cable or dining out every weekend. There's areas where you can really identify, okay, do I need this or do I want it? And that's going to be a real eye-opener and something that you can really take on in this intimate moment to reflect on what is most important to you. Is it your goals that are more important, or having those extra things that aren't necessarily getting you closer to your goals or to that vision that you see your life for yourself?
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And just speaking from experience of doing this for years and years with clients, it really comes down to trade-offs. What's more important? Is it more important to be able to send your children to, private school or be able to pay for their college? Or is it more important to go to Starbucks? Is it more important?
Why do we keep shouting out Starbucks? So it's just like everyone goes to Starbucks?
I don't know.
Coffee,
hey, y'all, send me a check.
Tea, I don't know. Whatever it is, whatever your thing is, donuts, wherever you're.
Maybe it's wine.
Wine.
Maybe it's going out with friends and, getting drinks and things of that nature. And don't get me wrong. I mean, this is the one life that we get to live, and we want to live it to the fullest. And part of that is friends and company. Yes, and living our best life. But at the same time, we live in a consumer economy, and all those places out there are very happy with you continuing to spend your money, and they'll let you
spend. That's what they want you to do.
Spend till you are broke. But you just got to start to ask yourself, what's more important? What am I willing to give in order to get what I want? And what I hope that every single one of you wants at some point in your lifetime is financial independence. Having enough money so that you don't have to work. So you get to choose if you have to work. So if your boss says, hey, we need people to volunteer to work on Sunday, and you're like,
or
I
if
don't
the
need
government
that.
shuts down.
Or exactly, the government shuts down. You know that you've got the money set aside and you're going to be okay. So that's really, again, this is about building that solid foundation so that you can make better financial decisions in the future.
And not just for you, but for your family, your children, generations to come. Thinking bigger than yourself, and it all starts with you.
Indeed. Okay, so you've got your income laid out. You know what your income is. You've got your expenses. You've sat down and you've done your review. You started to map out your expenses for the next few months. And again, as you know what the averages are, you can plan. Okay, this is what it's going to cost for groceries. I'm spending $800. I'd like to spend $600. So now you've created a budget. You're doing it. You are in the game. This is great. So you should be proud of yourself. All right, so you've got your income, you've reviewed your expenses, you got your expenses, you've done your review, you've got an idea of where your money's going, you've started to find some areas that you can make some changes so you can free up some more money, you've started to look at what are some of those trade-offs of, whether it's organic foods or the gym membership, what have you, you've started to come up with some of those ideas to free up the money. Now that you've done that, the next step is to plan. Create a plan of what are the things that you want. I know for us, something that's important for us is being able to have the money available so our children can go to the schools of their choices. Education is important to us. So we have to make sacrifices in other areas so we can have more money to contribute to the education plan. We had a big goal of buying a home. We had to make sacrifices to buy that home. So how much was the shirt?
Actually, this shirt was given to me.
Okay.
You keep talking about my shopping.
Free 99.
This shirt was a gift, okay? And I just popped the tag out of my closet.
She popping tags.
I popped tags, but it was a gift someone else bought for themselves, and they were tired of it hanging in their closet. So I took it.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
So as we're talking about sacrifices, right?
Yes.
As far as saving money, retail. That's exactly where I made the sacrifices. Not allowing myself to spend retail, to give my money to the retailers, because I knew that I had bigger goals for myself, and that was to buy our home. We made sacrifices as far as cutting back on any type of upgrades around our household.
Dining out, we made sacrifices there.
Oh man, we didn't go out for some time.
I mean, we actually, take it back. We did go out, and I'll tell you what, we enjoyed it that much more. We did go out.
Yes.
Okay. She looking at me like, or did you go out? Anyway, we also learned how to eat out differently. Sharing the entree and splitting an appetizer instead of us each getting an appetizer, each getting a drink, each getting an entree. Go home with a doggy bag that we usually don't eat. Okay, and easily, two of us, we can easily spend $100, $125, just dining out. Yeah. And as we started to make those changes, that $100 and some odd dollars turned into we're going to where it's happy hour so that we can, eat for half off. So again, and we were doing all that because we had plans, we had goals, we had things that were more important than just living in the moment. We had things that were more important than really, how's the saying go? Buying things that we don't want to impress people we don't know with money that we don't have.
But that's how the world is training us to think, unfortunately.
America. Let's talk about the country we know. America trains you that way. Okay. So again, make a plan. Maybe it's you want to create a cash reserve, as Alicia was saying earlier. So if something happens to your job, government shut down, whatever, you have money and you know that you can pay your mortgage, you can pay your rent, you can pay, your car notes, etc. Maybe you're setting a goal of what are some of the goals that we've had?
Buying a car, buying a home, helping out family members, being able to
pay off debt. That's a huge goal.
Boom.
Most of you watching this, I love all of you, I do. Happy Valentine's Day. But most of you watching this have debt. You do. It's the American way. You don't have to, though. You have debt because you spent money that you don't have. Let's put you in a position so you have money so you can get yourself out of debt within a reasonable amount of time. So again, it's about having that plan so that when you're in the store and getting that retail therapy, maybe you pick it up and say, I don't need this today. Or you're in Starbucks and you say,
identifying why you even need retail therapy, because you really don't. Usually there's other ways, free ways. Take a walk, do some yoga, breathe, talk to phone a friend.
Have a money date.
Really being a little more intentional with your time, more intentional with your spending, so that you can focus on your goals, focus on your plan, focus on paying off the debts, saving for the big goals that you have for yourself, saving for the future, so you're not depending on anybody else, and that you're creating that financial independence, financial wealth for you and your family.
So as you're working on this plan of the things you want to do with your money, the next best thing to do is find a way to automate it so you don't have to think about it. There's lots of great tools out there, apps out there. There's Acorns, there's I think it's called YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget. You're right about that.
Okay.
Go into the App Store on either Google or your iPhone and just type in money. Or
if you know who you owe money to, you can go to your utility providers, go to their website. They have where you can set up automatic payments. You can go to your bank, your financial institute, and set up your bill pay. You can set up automatic savings through your bank. You can even do automatic savings through your direct deposit. So finding ways to automate it. So
wait, you can do savings through your direct deposit?
Yes, so you can set up your direct deposit to where you have a certain percentage going to your checking account and a certain percentage going to your savings account, or you can do a flat dollar amount. So every time you have your direct deposit, if you want $200 to go directly to your savings account, that's exactly what's going to happen. So you didn't even see that $200.
Is that why I don't see your whole paycheck in our joint checking account?
It's
See, the truth is out there. The truth is out there.
The way my bank account is set up.
Yes, the way your bank account is set up, and so it all doesn't go into the joint account. Man, Anywho, not only can you set up your money from your direct deposit to go into multiple accounts, and that's something you have to check with your employer, but most employers will allow at least 2 different places you can put your paycheck. The other thing you can do is set up automatic savings to retirement accounts that you have through your employer, whether it be a 401k, 403b, 457. I know I just said a whole bunch of fancy terms that are out there, but again, these are things you can ask your employer about, and you can usually save as little as $1 or 1%. You won't miss it. You won't. And if you are missing it, start back at step 1 and work your way through the process again. So again, find ways that you can automate some of these savings, automate paying off those credit cards. One of the things that we do is we have our bank account set up so that any credit cards or debts that we have automatically get the minimum payment. Then we sit down and we go and, we'll pay more or pay off the balance, whatever, but we make sure it automatically gets the minimum payment so we don't have to think about it. Because we don't like late fees. Late fee, $25, $35 for late fees, and you get a ding on your credit. It's not worth it. So find ways that you can automate that process so that you can spend less time thinking about, am I saving, am I paying off my debt, and more time thinking about where all your wife's money is going and not going to the joint checking account.
No, what I wanted to add to that is spending less time thinking about or doubting or questioning if you really want to save this money, or being tempted to spend that money elsewhere when you've already decided for yourself that you want to save money, you want to reach these goals. So you want to make sure that you automate automate your bills, automate your savings, so you're not even thinking about it. Don't even give yourself the room to question your plan.
Absolutely. Well put. All right, so quick recap. You figured out your sources of income. You know your average income. You know your average expenses in each category. You've reviewed that and you've looked at areas that you can make changes. You've come up with a plan, whether it was to create a cash reserve, pay down some debt, whatever it is, and you started to automate that plan as well. The next step, and probably the most important in the process, is to track.
Track it.
If it's important, you'll track it. Okay? And by track, what do we mean? Schedule more money dates. If this is your first time setting up a budget, or you're new at this budgeting thing, we recommend that you review this budget at least weekly for the next 90 days. Okay? So that means, how many weeks is that? 12 weeks. It means, so you need to go ahead and schedule in your calendar right now 12 money dates where you sit down and you look, okay, what was my income? What were my expenses? Where are some areas that I can make some changes? How do I want to adjust my plan? And you keep tracking it and make those small adjustments. And I'm saying to you, and I want you all to understand, little by little, a little becomes a lot. Whether it's $1 here, $2 there, $5 there, over time, it can turn into millions. It really can. And I've watched it happen with clients. I've watched people go from, oh, I have no savings, to, oh, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings. How did that happen? Because they knew what their income, they knew what their expenses were. We reviewed it. They came up with a plan. They automated that plan, and they went on about their lives and living happy lives. So you want to review and compare the things that are going well, ways that you can continue to improve. And after you've done it for, after you've done it for at least 90 days on a weekly basis, you compare back a little bit. We sit down maybe once or twice a month.
About twice a month.
Yeah, we sit down about twice a month
we together.
Yes.
Twice a month.
I'm telling you guys, I'm looking at mine every day. Because again, I'm doing it.
Money every day.
Not looking at my money every day. Anyway, but again, I'm a business owner, so I'm doing it from two perspectives. One, actually, I don't look at the personal. I don't. Alicia does. I look at it when we look at it together. But I'm looking at the business every single day. I'm looking at the revenue coming in, the expenses going out, what's on the horizon, what can I cut. Just today, I cut out a bill that I was paying, some tech bill, for $49. It kept surprising us every time it came out of the account, because it was accidentally coming out of the joint account. I'm sorry. I fixed it. But that was $49 that I'd been paying them for 10 months. That's $490. I looked at the service. I only used it the first 2 months. Haven't used it since. So I just gave that company $400. No more. It ended today. They are no longer getting that $49 each month. And again, that $49 can go somewhere else. It can buy me a new shirt.
So
because I don't get gifts.
Part of that too, tracking and knowing where your money's going, your spending habits, a huge part of that, and I just want to reiterate, is also checking your mail. Checking your mail, because you might be getting notices. You might not have paperless. You might not, if you haven't signed up for paperless. If you prefer paperless, sign up for paperless. But a lot of people don't check their mail, so they don't get notices. They don't get updates on maybe additional charges from their credit card company, or something that they might have missed that's not necessarily automated. But checking your mail, I don't know how many times I know people, I've mailed people things and they just don't check their mail, but it's because they've let things just pile up. And you have to be proactive with your mailing, and that's a huge part of tracking your expenses, so you know what's coming in the mail. You know what to expect. There are no surprises. Because you're, excuse me?
I agreed. I said no surprise.
Oh yeah, because you're being proactive again in managing your finances and taking control of your finances, taking control of your household.
I heard a statistic recently that the average American checks their Instagram more than they check their bank account.
Oh, I believe it.
Instagram's only been around for not even 10 years. And
I check my bank account every day.
Which bank account? That secret account?
I check my bank accounts.
Oh, it's
every day. And especially if I know I have a special event, if I have the weekends coming up, I have people coming in town, or things I've committed to, I make sure I know how much money I can be spending for that weekend. So I don't come Monday, I've put myself in a position where I'm not staying committed to the budget that I created for myself.
So again, just to recap everyone, this is about building simplicity. This is about building habits. This is about using the tools that you have. Just like most of you are probably watching this on your phone or on your tablet or something like that. That is an amazing tool that you can use to help you take more control over your money. Use that tool so that you can make better financial decisions. And at the end of the day, just live a happier life. Money is one of the greatest causes of depression and arguments with spouses and separation between parents and children. A lot of times money is the root of that. When they say money is the root of evil, that's the evil that they're talking about. So I encourage you to take more control over that so that you can have a more loving relationship with your money, a more intimate relationship with your money. And just like I said, just have a better off financial life.
Okay, so let's just recap everything that we've gone over tonight. So we've gone over the 5 tips of budgeting 101. And first, you want to go over your income. You want to make sure you know what your sources of income are. 2 is your expenses, identifying what your average monthly expenses are, finding a way to track that works for you, whether it's Excel, whether it's using some of the money applications, or pen and paper. Number 3 is review. How do your monthly expenses compare to your monthly income? Really allowing yourself to identify your needs versus your wants. Number 4 is plan. Coming up with a plan to pay off your debt, to save money, to automate all of your expenses so that you don't have to think about it. You're automatically working on your plan. Number 5, track your money. When is your next money date? Allowing yourself to have that committed scheduled time for you and your money so that you can really pour love, pour intention into the money that you work very hard for so that you can continue to reach your goals, so you can analyze your budget, so you can analyze your habits and really see where there's opportunity for you to do better, whether you're taking that money date with yourself or with your spouse, so that you can create healthy communication around your money. So we're so excited again to have you and for you joining us tonight on this beautiful Valentine's Day special that we got going. And it's really all about empowering you to take control of your finances, empowering you to have a better mindset around how you manage your mindset and taking control of your future and your goals. And so before we wrap up, Yo has something exciting to share with you about what we got going on with the Money Script.
So for those of you that are a little bit more tech savvy and would like some help with creating your budget, we have a tool, the Money Script Wealth Management tool, that allows you to track your expenses and create a budget all online. So if you'd like to get access to this tool, all you need to do is go over to our Instagram and click the link in the bio. And request your free access to the tool. You'll get access to this to the Money Script Wealth Management tool for 90 days at no cost whatsoever. You'll be able, like I said, to review your budget. You'll be able to create plans inside of it. You'll be able to look back over 30, 60, 90 days of your spending in the past, and even track 30, 60, 90 days in the future, which is really awesome. It's similar to Mint. The difference is that you're going to get assistance with creating that budget. Like I said, it's free to you for 90 days. If you want to talk about how you can continue using it in the future, that's something we can have a conversation about offline. But give it a try. Sign up for 90 days. So to get free access to the tool, go to Instagram at the Money Script. Click the link in the bio. You can request your free 90-day access to the Money Script Wealth Management Planning Tool. Like I said, to help you create a budget, help you create a plan, and get some tips and tools from us on how you can do better and make better financial decisions for yourself. So go to Instagram at the Money Script, click the link in the bio. You can get free access to the Money Script Wealth Management Tool for 90 days for free. You also get some tools, some tips on how you can take better control of your money, make better financial decisions. And we'll also have a way for you to be able to hire and work with me one-on-one to help you make those better financial decisions. But again, I want to give it to you for free so you can try it out and see how you like it and start to, like I said, start making those better financial decisions and take better control. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, of course, again, link in the bio, my email is there. Feel free to reach out with your questions, with your comments. We want to be a resource for all of you to start making better financial decisions. So with that, I think that ends the money date for this Valentine's Day special. Since it is Valentine's Day,
Since it is Valentine's Day, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
It means you're making me dinner.
Oh,
cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day. Love your money.
Love your money. We love you, and we'll see you guys next time.